What's up, everybody? Big Hurt 916. You tuned into another edition of my vlog. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and support. Also share the channel with your friends. I'm gonna be doing a shoe giveaway when I hit 10,000 subscribers. I'm at about 9,100 right now, and I got a pair of shoes I'm gonna be giving away. Some 12 and a half. So if you don't wear 12 and a half, you still might get lucky. You can give them away. If not, you know, hey, make a good gift, or you can wear them for yourself. Anyways, I want to talk about family today. And a lot of times family can be your worst enemy when it comes to your success. And what I mean by that is a lot of times things start at the home. Everything really starts at the home. You know, a lot of people want to blame the schools, they want to blame the churches, they want to blame all these other people for raising their kids. But the parent, first and foremost, should be responsible for raising their kids. Not the friends, not the schools, not the colleges, not the workplace, but the parents. And it starts at a young age when parents should start instilling confidence in their kids. They should start teaching the kids the basic fundamentals of life, of communication, of love, of support, self-esteem. All these things are things that parents should focus on at a very young age in a child's life. And a lot of parents just aren't doing it. A lot of parents are, too busy working, or they're just, not home enough. They're sending the kids to a babysitter. They're, doing too many social media videos instead of taking care of their kids. Or they're filming their kids doing ignorant stuff, and they're not correcting the kids, which leads the kids to believe that what they're doing is right, and it's not. And so I say this because a lot of parents have basically relinquished their responsibilities instead of taking responsibility for their actions. And when the kid does something wrong, they always say, well, he wasn't a bad kid. Well, if he was trying to rob somebody and then got shot in the process, or was running around with a gun, then maybe he wasn't as good as a kid as you thought he was. And I'm not trying to call the kettle black, because I was one of those kids. I was one of those kids out doing all type of shit. And, of course, a lot of my family didn't know what I was doing, but I was going to get it in regardless. When I was 14, 15, 16, you couldn't tell me shit. I was one of those little motherfuckers, man. I was ready to squab at a drop of a dime. I wasn't going to let nobody disrespect me in my neighborhood. And I was all about handling my business. I was out in the streets when I wasn't supposed to. I was selling drugs. But these are the things I did because I felt at the time this was going to make me a man, and this is how I fit in to the culture I was around. So I'm not knocking the guys out there who are trying to, be a part of a certain demographic and they're subject to the elements. All I'm saying is that the parents should step their game up and basically, show more interest in the kid's life. Instill different quality, different qualities into the kid, so that he'll feel like maybe he don't have to be out there selling drugs or carrying a pistol. I think back and what would I have told a younger me, and maybe if I would have had more confidence in sports. I mean, hey man, I see you out here dribbling basketball all day. You can make it to the NBA. Just keep your grades up though. Keep your grades up. Keep studying. Little positive affirmations like that would have made a difference. When I was skateboarding, and it costed a little bit of money to buy a skateboard, but fuck, man, you're a parent. Make the fucking sacrifice, for your kid, to keep him off the street. If I would have stayed with that, maybe I would have been one of the original black guys in the X Games. You know what I mean? I would have pursued other avenues, but because I didn't have support in certain areas, I decided to go off and just do other things, because you can't lecture a kid and just think he's going to stop doing something. Oh, stop doing that, you're going to go to jail. Stop doing this, you're going to be a fucking knucklehead. You're just like your dad, or you're just like your uncle. You're just like, kids don't need to hear that shit. Kids need to hear positive. Hey man, You know, you fell down, get up, man. You're gonna be all right. You can do it. You know, try it again. You know, try it again. You need to hear that. You know, you're the greatest. You know, you're very smart. You're very talented. You know, you're a very handsome young man. You're a very beautiful girl. Kids need to hear that. So a lot of times it's family, it's parents, you know, that aren't putting the qualities in, because if you feel you have a certain level of confidence, the stuff on the street doesn't seem that interesting. You know, the drugs don't seem that interesting because you know you're smart. You know, you got a future. You know, you shouldn't do that stuff, because if you do it, that means that it can take you down a dark path. And parents aren't giving the kids the foundation to have these certain qualities so that they can make the judgment call. Because there's a lot of pressure out there when you're around your friends, and you know, you're trying to be cool and you want to be the in kid. There's a lot of you know, there's a lot of things you want to be a part of, and the family should be number one, and then if you have friends, that should be number two. But a lot of times the friends are number two, so a lot of the kids don't get an opportunity to really have that family quality, which is going to make them a positive grown adult. So family could be your worst enemy. You know, a lot of people, you know, they look at family and it's like, oh, well, that's my brother, or that's my dad, you know. But sometimes they're a piece of shit, man, because they weren't there to give you the foundational elements you need. And it's not, I'm not picking on any one particular race, but it happens in all demographics, you know, where a kid is constantly beat down mentally, and so by the time he reaches, you know, 12, 13, he has no self-esteem. He hates society. He's mad at life. He's frustrated. He has anger issues. You know, all this stuff is a part of, you know, people parenting. You know, it's just like all this fucking bullying stuff, man. You know, parents, oh, he's getting bullied. I remember when I was little and I used to watch the Muhammad Ali Sugar Ray fights, and we had boxing gloves as a little kid, and we would actually box each other. You know, playful, but you had little kids, maybe 6, 7, you had little gloves you could buy from the store, and I had a pair, and a friend of mine had a pair, and we used to box. And you know, you get hit upside the head or hit in the nose. It teaches you things about overcoming fear, because a lot of you kids are scared to death. You're scared to death to defend yourself. You're scared to death if somebody tells you something. You're scared to death if somebody cuts you off, you know, and you don't know how to respond. I mean, you're scared of everything. You're scared of your own shadow, and a lot of that comes from not being able to feel like, hey, man, getting over fear. And parents aren't teaching kids this. They're teaching kids to embrace fear. Oh my God, if they say something to you, report it to the principal, and you know, call this hotline. It's a fucking crock of shit, man. Step your fucking game up. Teach your kids to overcome fear. Teach your kids the basic qualities. I knew girls that were tougher than boys these days. You know, I knew some girls that would drop motherfucking dogs on you. You know, girls on the military base wasn't no fucking punk. Tough. Pretty and tough. You know, yeah, she had a little hair and ponytails and barrettes, but she will put hands on you. And that's the problem. These fucking boys now, all the girls put hands on them. The women are running shit. And that's because of the fucking parents. Men need to, you know, step up their role model in the parenting. Women need to let men be men. Excuse me for stumbling. But yeah, man, it's the parenting that needs a lot of reforming. You know, I always talk about different things, but parenting needs a reform course 101, because a lot of you guys are falling short, and the ones that think they're doing their duty because their kids are in these private schools and doing this and that, your kids are candy asses, you know, and that's not going to work either. So if you want to balance, and I'm not saying you got to go to prison and be tough, that's some bullshit. And somebody made a comment about that, you know, and it's not about fighting everybody. It's about at least knowing the interaction. You can be fighting in a boxing ring, training, but it doesn't mean that you have to go out and fight people on the street to prove that. Boxers don't do that. I'm just saying it teaches you to overcome a lot of fear. So parents, step your game up. Kids, it's going to be all right, man. Share this video with your parents, and hopefully we can create some positivity in your life.